Hey friends, the A series of the Samsung Galaxy smartphones is incredibly popular. Samsung released two new models exactly today, namely the Galaxy A35 and the Galaxy A55, which means there are two more devices to choose from in the mid-range. You can now find out what distinguishes these two devices from each other and which one is right for you. As part of a launch event, Samsung presented two new A-series devices at their own small trade fair, the World of Samsung, at the end of February. The A35 and the A55 share the same design on the outside. Like the Galaxy S series, both now have an almost completely flat frame, which is made of plastic on the A35 and stainless steel on the A55. That's really the only way you can tell the two devices apart from the outside. The metal frame of the A55 is a little brushed and has a small visible antenna stripe on the side. Otherwise, both devices have a glass back made of Corning Gorilla Glass and both have the Samsung design for the camera modules on the back. The lenses come directly from the device. Both also have a 5000 mAh battery and a 6.6-inch FHD Plus Super AMOLED display with a refresh rate of 120 Hz that is also a solid 1000 nits bright. This means that you can read the display very well outside in sunny weather, but this might be a little more difficult in direct sunlight. Even the colors are completely identical on both models. So what is the difference between the A35 and the A55 that explains the price difference? Because the A35 costs 379 euros in the smallest storage variant with 128 GB and the A55 with 128 GB costs 479 euros. In my opinion, there are two main differences that can actually matter. On the one hand, there is the processor. The cheaper A35 has the Exynos 1318 installed, which is also installed in last year's A54. The A55, on the other hand, uses the new Exynos 1480, which means you can expect more performance from the A55 if, for example, you play games on your smartphone or want to edit photos and videos. With the basic version with 128 GB, you only have 6 GB of RAM in the A35 instead of the 8 GB RAM in the A55. However, I will then determine how big the difference in performance will actually be by testing the devices. Of course, there will also be a review on this channel, so please make sure to subscribe. The second difference between the two devices is the camera, which is only a slight difference. With the A55, you have the useful dual recording function on board, where you can film with the front and main cameras at the same time, which is a cool feature for content creators. Both devices have a 50 megapixel main camera and a 5 megapixel macro camera, and both devices can now record videos in Super HDR with 12 bits and over 68 million colors, which are values that we know from the premium range. But the A35 only has an 8 megapixel ultra-wide camera, while the A55 has a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera. Samsung itself says that the A55's better camera and performance make it more suitable for those who want to create and edit content for social media, such as photos and videos. The A55 also comes with a practical image clipping tool, where you can cut something from an image and paste it somewhere else. Otherwise, I will check in my test whether there is a really significant difference between the two devices when it comes to the camera. Samsung has made AI a priority with the Galaxy S24 series and the Galaxy Books 4, and the Galaxy AI features are also coming to the Galaxy S23 and Z Flip and Fold 5 devices via an update. Unfortunately, the A series and therefore also the A35 and A55 do not benefit from the Galaxy AI features. These are definitely still only reserved for expensive devices, which I personally regret very much because I would have loved to see the super practical circle to search feature on the cheaper models. But I can also very well imagine that the performance of the built-in processors is simply not sufficient to be able to display the results at a satisfactory speed. Only the A55 has a mini AI feature on board, which means that when taking portraits, the images are post-processed with AI support. Otherwise, both the A35 and the A55 are protected against dust and water according to IP67 and receive 4 years of OS updates and 5 years of security updates. Unfortunately, not 7 years like in the premium range, but of course there has to be something that sets it apart as premium. In my first impression, I think both devices are definitely of very high quality, and in the hand they make more of a premium impression than a mid-range one. And I'm looking forward to the test to see how big the difference actually is in the end. At first glance, without having tested it in detail, I would say that people who want to do a little more in the social media area with their smartphone should go for the A55, while people who don't need that can spend €100 to invest in something else. New headphones, for example, or a smartwatch. I hope you liked my first impression of the Galaxy A35 and A55. If so, please hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to this channel. And please let me know in the comments whether you prefer the A35 or the A55. Friends, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye and see you next time. Mwah!